understand search. People today, statistics show less than 85% of people actually go on to the second page results in Google. So what does that say about the searcher? What that says is most people, and you'll probably know from yourself, are very have a very short attention span. So if let's say people put in again the search query for uh, gear and they end up with saddles, more than likely they're not going to go and search for gear. They're just going to hit the back button and see you later and go to the person and go somewhere else. Okay, that's what we dread. That's not what we want. So we have to always um, make sure that we have the proper landing page. That's an example of a landing page. We'll take a look at another example. This is the hurricane. So when somebody puts in the keyword hurricane or cane, they're one of the results. So as you can see here, in the way this is set up, there's a call to action. This whole page is set up like a unique selling proposition. Okay, it has very strong points here. Okay, so you have how to get a hold of them, buy now, and information on the product. So the page isn't busy. It tells you what the product is. Okay, it's 20% lighter, it's 40% stronger, and it's made in the USA. Okay, so if you want, you can learn more about the product, support. It says here, support U.S. vets. Click here to watch the latest TV ad. So it's not a busy landing page. It's primarily, hey, this is what we have to offer. We'll give you a money back guarantee. Click here to buy now. It's simple, it's to the point, and there's a strong call to action here. So when you click on it, it takes you to a checkout page. Simple, easy. Okay, so during the course of our seminar, during this course that we're offering here on YouTube, we'll show you how to create landing pages like this. We'll show you how to create landing pages that help you sell your product, has a strong call to action, how to get a hold of people, and a landing page that's informational. But this is an excellent example of a landing page. Now let's say people put in that same search query and the landing page went somewhere else, like we had just expressed. Let's say you do a search query for let's see, bicycle helmets. Click on this. This is another great example of a landing page. You get right to bicycle helmets. So this company also sells other things. But let's say we hit in a search query for bicycle helmets and they brought us to wheels. How likely are you to continue to search and look through this inventory? It looks like they sell hundreds of, maybe even close to 1,000 different products. More than likely you're going to hit the back button and see you later. So remember, it's always simple things like that are going to lead to the best conversions, the most conversions. Your search query, as we said here, your landing page must be relevant to the search query. So we'll talk about landing pages during the course of our seminar. It's important to understand Google's goal, your goal, and the searcher's goal. Okay, whenever you put together an AdWords campaign, there are three entities trying to reach goals. Okay, so Google's goal is to have the best possible product. They want people to use their search engine. So when you're putting in a search query, Google's service is to provide the user with the best experience. So let's say, this was me last night. Last night I was looking for Chinese food, but I was looking for Chinese foods that deliver. So I put in the Google, and then obviously within my area, and then I put in my zip code. So Google showed me the results they thought that were most relevant to my search. So what came up? All the Chinese areas, all the Chinese restaurants that were in my area, and in bold, in the little snippet, I saw the ones that delivered and the ones that didn't, if that was available. So you have to understand, Google, besides them being in the business of making money, you also have to understand they're trying to improve and make the best product. And in this case, the product is search. So no, the searcher is looking for those results. They don't care about your ad. They don't care that it's a sponsored listing. They're looking for the result they're looking for an answer to a question. Okay? And you, as the advertiser, what your goal is to make money, but you also want to show a relevant ad so that you have a high click-through rate and that people convert and that you have a conversion and that your call to action is strong enough where people actually purchase. So there you go. So it's always good whenever you're creating an ad to make sure that you understand goal alignment, because it's Google versus you versus the searcher. Okay. Now let's go through the motion of setting up a campaign. We're not going to actually set up a live campaign, but like I believe, repetition is the mother of success. If we're constantly exposed, especially if you're new, we're constantly exposed to understanding how all this works, we'll be a little familiar with it as the day goes on. You know, if we learn 1% every day, all that stacks up and keeps adding up, and we have the momentum we need. Okay, so once you add into your AdWords, once you log into your AdWords, let's just click on New Campaign. We're going to name our campaign. Okay, so let's call this Test. As you can see, we have the types here: search network with display. What you want to do is just do the search network only. We'll talk about this later. You don't want to do two at once. You should have, if you have a display network, if you have a have a search campaign, just start a search campaign. You never want to click these two, and you never want to do those two things at the same time. So search network here. Name your campaign. We'll just call this Test. If you're just doing search network only, you always want to make sure this is selected. We don't want to do PLA yet. That's a whole nother tutorial. We don't want to do this here. So this is just, really an explanation of how things are right now. So we don't have an existing campaign. Google Search Network includes search partners. You want to make sure that is. Google has a lot of partners out there. You want to make sure you include those search partners. We'll get to this at some point during the course of our seminar. Ads will show on all types of devices by default. If you're just targeting the United States, make sure you just target the United States. You don't want to, especially if you're in a business where geography is important, like if you're a plumber or if you're have a home health aid service, something like that. You want to make sure that you have and geography is important. This gives you an opportunity to geo-target. So if you click like United States, you can start entering a location, or well, if you do in United States, this is the entire United States. It's a national campaign. If you're just trying to target by geography, you can do that. Google will tell you the reach. It'll tell you where, and if, let's say, Worcester, Massachusetts, let's say, you click on that, it'll tell you what your potential reach is, and again, we'll get into geo-targeting. You have location options. So as you can see, people searching for, viewing pages about my targeted location. It goes on and on and on. This is an extension of locations. So we'll talk about advanced geotargeting during the course of our seminar. You can see shopping channels, bid strategy. You know, you should always have this set here. If you click this automated AdWords will set my bids to maximize my clicks within my target budget. Obviously, we'll talk about that. That's not always the best option, but there are times when if you have like a really big budget where you could use that. But this is where a lot of people lose money on bid strategy. So for now, you should always have that selected now. We're going to talk about default bid. We're going to talk about budget per day. We're going to talk about delivery methods. And obviously, we're going to talk about ad extensions. So all of this, you can even schedule your ads, these advanced settings, ad delivery, keyword matching options, tracking URLs for dynamic links. So we're going to talk about all this, but I just wanted to show you, give you a tour of setting up a campaign, and we'll actually go through the motion of setting up a campaign, and we'll cover that. So that should do it for today. You can review everything and get ready for tomorrow, day 2. Bye-bye.